Hello and welcome to Hardcast, where we pull down our pants and moon the American military. I'm Humphrey Erm.
And I'm Christian Claus.
Lifeline, give me Exo Manowar Volume 6, Prelude to Armor Wars. I guess I have to start off with man, oh man, I love all of this. This is like when Valiant's really starts stepping up the game, I feel.
Yeah, okay.
I guess I have to put it out there. So this, because again, it's one of those things where I like that it's a bit, in a sense, I kind of just want more superhero stories, but without the baggage of, DC and Marvel. And I feel this is the start of some real superhero stuff. This, more of the same, but different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
So if I want non-superhero stuff, I'll read millions of other things I can read.
Yeah.
So but here's kind of this is a superhero story, and so good. So
okay,
yeah,
if you say so.
So yeah, and as I wrote here, what's called the beginnings of the first proper Valiant event. Are you hyped?
Is that an actual question to me?
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm not hyped.
Aww. All right, then. It's not really... we have more questions that will go into that, so we don't have to shoot off from that.
Well, it's kind of like... I don't know if I can explain it like that, but it's just... it feels... For me, it felt just very typical. It didn't feel like anything big or different. It's just like, okay, well, here comes the new big bads who are trying to destroy our hero. It didn't feel like anything that we haven't seen before. So I don't understand how you were, talking here about how it's, great and awesome and different and stuff like that.
Well, in my case, it might be because I know what happens later. So I see it as a whole now.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's kind of like I can kind of see more seeds being placed in a sense, I guess, for later events. Yeah. I won't mention them, but just overall in terms of the introduction of these new characters, it's also right, it's been a while since I read this, so it's kind of I remember that they existed, but I forgot oh right, that's the one there, and right, that I forgot about that character, and I don't know, it's so for me, I'm guessing it's more of a return to it, as well as then as I'm reading this, I'm basically replaying the whole event in my head, so maybe that's the reason. Or maybe you just have poor taste.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's both. Probably both. No, but it's just one of those things where it just felt like a very typical Exo Manowar story, so to speak. The whole extraterrestrial thing is nothing new.
That's true.
That there's some extraterrestrial people coming in. That's fine.
That is his origin.
The fact that, yeah, exactly. And the fact that the suit is one of many, that's not too different. I don't know if they mentioned it before.
No, that's new. That's new.
Okay. Well, because for me, it was just also I guess I've just seen too many other superhero things where it's just I guess, there should be other suits around. Why not? It's a huge universe. Same thing with the Green Lantern ring. There was always the other colors as well. So it just felt to me yep, this is fine. It's probably some sort of alien version of the suit, and alien in this case meaning more just unbeknown or unknown to us. So with this new creature, or whatever his name was, Monhun or whatever.
So amalgam.
That it's just a typical thing that he has just a different type of the suit, but it's just the suit. And yeah, and from what it just looks like from the other characters that we're going to probably get to later, they're just hunting them, and they're they're just a team that's going after them. But honestly, I would have kind of wanted to have a clear indication who these all were, but I guess we're going to get to that later then.
Well, I kind of wrote that down here. It reminds me a lot how they the same kind of style they do in mangas. They'll just have a big reveal of a bunch of new characters, and then they'll get into it later in a sense.
Yeah, but it felt kind of off in this part, especially that one chapter where they do get revealed and they keep talking to each other using their names. And because with the manga, the way that they introduce their characters there, they show them quickly or they do something, but they don't like talk long. They don't spend a lot of time with those characters talking to each other and stuff like that. So I felt like I was supposed to know who these people were, because again, they were using their names and they never kind of isolated who they were. So they just kept on saying names, and I had to assume what character had that name. So I'm still not sure what these guys' names are.
Okay, and I thought they were pretty clear with it in terms of like who's doing who, like who's saying who, and what's called like eye direction, stuff like that. So I never felt it was like to me it's just this whole, as I mentioned, like with a manga, it's just this sort of mystery thing. Like I think back to Hunter x Hunter. So when they revealed the Phantom Troop, I'm not going to try to pronounce the Japanese name because it's very difficult to pronounce. But I remember that was just like a 2-page spread, really, showing off, I think it was, 13 new characters, like we haven't seen at all. There's like no like lead up or anything really, except a few hints about their existence.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they did mention them several times, but yeah, anyways. But this is our first view of them, and it's like, okay, there's like a big Frankenstein guy and Sabretooth from X-Men, and a cute girl with a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, but what did they do with the characters after that?
Well, then it was, a slow-paced storytelling where they were slowly revealed further, throughout the subsequent chapters.
Unlike here, where they're introduced and then the story's about them.
Oh, so you mean, so for you then it would have been that after the end of issue 24, like the middle issue, it should have like stopped there and then continued from Manowar's point of view in the next issue.
Yeah.
Like that was a cool like cliffhanger. Like, what is this? Who are these people?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then
because then they started going on about them, who they were and stuff like that. So I thought, okay, here we're introducing new characters, and there I kind of felt like I needed something where they kind of indicated who they were, like have those captions with like, this is this guy, this is this guy, this is this guy. Much easier than having to, while reading it, trying to figure out, okay, who is he looking at? Who is he responding to? Who's Quartz now because he responded to Quartz, but that big metal guy spoke in between. Does he mean him? No, he means the guy before with the little crystal hammer thing. Okay, I guess I would assume that's Quartz because that also kind of works. That kind of stuff. That's what I was going through my head while I was reading it. And I don't want to do that while I'm reading. I want to enjoy the story. I don't want to start having to put together a puzzle of what character is what.
Honestly, I can agree with that. So I didn't consider it like that, but you're right. You have a nice, yes, that is whole mystery of like, okay, we're on another planet, and oh, there's the next Manowar armor. Oh, and it's killed. Oh, who the hell is this guy? He looks cool.
Right.
And who are these guys? And then a big robot.
Exactly.
And then it's kind of like,
it's cool. It's cool. Like the next chapter or the next issue is cool. I like it. I like that you get a little bit more about these people, but I think it was a little bit too confusing for my taste.
No, I get what you mean. It's what's called. Honestly, I'm trying to think a bit with the next issues. Like, you haven't read them yet, but you're trying to think like maybe there would have been a way to pace it differently, like revealing this later or something. So that's like a flashback or something like that.
Well, I like that they're kind of going to Earth now. Like, it's very clear. I mean, that's what this chapter or this issue did. It really showed that they are now coming to Earth and they are a threat to X-O Manowar, to Eric.
Yes, and I think that's subtle storytelling.
Yeah, well, yeah, very subtle. But yeah, that's what I mean. Is that I think it's a good issue, and not anything against that. But maybe it could have been fun to just kind of compress it more, and then just have them walk towards that robot to be like, all right, now off to Earth or something like that. I don't know. It's fine the way it is. I would have tried to make it a different way, but this isn't like harming it much. I just didn't enjoy the way that I had to kind of puzzle, like put together this puzzle of who these characters were and how they relate to each other and all that kind of stuff. I think that was a little bit overwhelming to see all these characters.
No, I get that. Again, an interesting, and again, I like this is the kind of discussion I like as well because it's not just about plot elements; it's actual like storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I agree with you, and I'm not sure. I can't remember how I felt when I first started reading this one. So because again, I kind of knew because this was also because it was around this time I started buying the volumes. So like I think volume this is volume 6. I think volume 7 or 8 was already out as well when I bought this one. So so this event had already been finished by the time I started it. So I remember having seen yes, the little coverage Valiant gets. I remember actually getting a bit seeing it a bit on like Comics Alliance and rest in peace Comics Alliance.
What?
It's just
What?
closing.
Why?
I don't know, some like financial things, I guess.
Huh.
I mean, those websites don't really work anymore. At least not as easily
Yeah,
as
but
before.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh well, didn't really go on there anyway. So,
Yeah, I haven't been there for
and that's
years.
the problem.
Wonder why they closed. I haven't been on there for ages.
Right.
Anyways, no, but I remember seeing some stuff about that. Like yes, so like armor hunters, like that term I had heard a lot.
Yeah.
So there was some, in terms of like, ooh, curiosity, but I can't remember at all like what I was thinking reading through this. But reading it now, I just was like very excited in terms of like knowing the characters already, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like for me, as I mentioned, like the whole superhero thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
as you were saying in a sense in the very beginning, like it just feels typical. As you said, like aliens are not a new thing. So like that's absolutely true. But for me, there was a genuine kind of like mystery and excitement over another exosuit like that. Like to me, that was like, ooh. Again, it's not like a what? Oh, there's more than one. It's not like it's the most craziest idea, but still,
Yeah.
it's another thing that's being established. It's world building. But I also like the whole how it's like how he is because he's not fully covered and he's like in pain and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just thought it was really interesting. It also makes into one of those typical like superhero things where you sort of have I wouldn't call him a nemesis, but you have a villain who has the same powers as the hero.
Right. Right. Your antithesis.
Yeah, exactly. So I always like stuff like that. And I don't know, just neat, I think.
Yeah. I mean, now that I'm looking through the issue where they are introduced more, where they're talking about going back to Earth, going to Earth and stuff like that, I do see that there is one very important element that they introduce in this, that these are not good guys.
So okay, I mean, yeah, you're right, but what in particular?
Well, because like if I'm looking at the beginning of it, like the first time they're introduced, where they're killing the Manowar, the person in the Manowar suit, it's just like, this could be seen as some sort of like alliance that's against the Manowar suit, because it's kind of like with the Blue Beetle thing, where it's like it's actually something evil.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect parallel as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking like, so this Blue Beetle suit is also like actually evil, and then whatever. So there's people out there who are trying to fight the good fight by destroying this evil. So I think this is kind of like a similar thing where the exo suit could be just inherently evil and needs to be destroyed. So this group got together as a group of good people, good mercenaries, people who are doing it for the greater good, and they're killing just all these exo suit wearers. But then in this next issue, in issue 25 of Manowar, we see that they let this entire planet die, like the inhabitants of the planet too. And I think that kind of just really is the shoot the puppy of this thing. They really are letting these helpless, innocent aliens or beings die because they just don't give a shit.
Well, the
And
way
I
I
like
see
that
it is,
because
it's as they call it, the decontamination.
Yeah.
So I'd assume from this that there might be something about this armors themselves, like maybe they have some kind of virus or something that spreads, outside of themselves. And
Yeah.
the only way to stop it, like even like you taking care of the main threat of the actual like armor, But like it's been on the planet too long now, so they have to decontaminate it, which means destroy it.
Right. So, but that's what I mean is that I think if they were good people, they would find different ways to do it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no.
Because this is the kind of the classic thing where someone would sit there and be all like, "I don't know if this is the right thing to do, man." You know, that kind of stuff. So I think that's why this really shows really well that they're not good people. That this is not going to be one of those fights where they then are fighting and then they talk at some point and it's revealed that they're actually just fighting the suit because the suit is evil, and they come to this point where they're like, yes, the suit is evil, but the wearer makes the suit, or whatever, you know, that kind of shit. You know, whereas like, but you can control the suit, so we'll leave it in your trustful hands and all that kind of stuff, you know? So I guess this is a nice way of showing that, no, we're not going to go this way. This is going to be an actual fight. They're going to come for the suit and they're going to be ruthless about it. And honestly, now talking about it, that's kind of getting me a little bit excited to think like this is going to be like this all out war. And hopefully maybe they'll bring in the Eternal Warrior or something.
Again, we're gonna see. So I can't remember all the exact things. So I remember some of the tie-in the books.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we'll go through them. And regarding
maybe they're
this,
gonna bring in Shadow Man like they did in the next page.
Oh yeah, but this also could come into play then with what we were discussing. It was the previous volume, wasn't it?
I think it was previous volume.
Unity Volume 2.
Yeah, I was thinking about this while I was looking at this, and I was like, oh man, we're going to talk about this, aren't we?
So, well, again, this is kind of what you wanted, right? Like filling it up with this kind of stuff. Then, like, if you don't have enough like actual issues, you know, to get some other artists here and fill it up.
Yeah, and even with this, I mean, look at this. This is not well drawn.
Yeah, no, but it's purposefully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This isn't like when you're trying to make it look like a realistic action series. It's like, okay, this is an underground comics kind of guy.
Exactly, and that's why I think this is perfect. You know, I mean, we've literally seen some. I mean, this is not the kind of style that I would like to continue reading, or like, I'm not going to follow up on this guy and try to find out like what kind of other stuff he's done, because I don't like the style. But I'm sure there was someone out there who was like, "Oh, let me Google that name and let me find him."
So yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's again, it's just short little things. I like the one right after too. So just a little, just trying to, with the water.
Or the. So. Oh yeah.
It's just kind of a nice.
This is what I'm kind of wondering now. I mean, I don't know if we should go back to your questions or what we should be doing.
I mean, we're going to new things, discussing stuff. It's more about when we're circle jerking the same thing over and over.
Yeah. Well, because I was kind of confused because this time I actually started reading the panels.
Oh, you're reading the panels now.
Sorry, not the panels. Sorry, the titles to the issues. And of course, on this one, I get completely confused.
Oh God, Above Earth Now.
No. I'm talking about the titles of the contents. The titles of the issue.
Oh, you mean like in the beginning?
Because it says here, the origin of Exo Manowar number 25. Then the next comes Wreckage, Exo Manowar number 23. Then Diplomacy, Exo Manowar 24. Then Burial, Exo Manowar 25. Then Bar Fight, Exo Manowar 25. Then The Fate of Kings, Exo Manowar 25. Owly and Wormy Inn, Exo Manowar 25. And then Battle of the Ages, Exo Manowar 25. Exo Manowar Database 25. 25.
Yeah, I guess because they're all different creators, they have to be credited separately.
I guess, but it was just so confusing, especially because it starts off with 25, then it goes down to 23, then 24, then 25.
I didn't even think, I didn't really check it out this time, so...
Yeah, but I don't know, I think
they just thought, like, because obviously the origin of Exo Manowar fits well within the, 25th issue, like, special.
Yeah.
But I hear it works as a, what's called, introduction.
Oh, maybe that's how they did it. Yeah, they just cut it out from the 25th issue.
Yeah, and put it here at the beginning of the volume.
Put it in the front of the volume. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, yeah, okay, I get it.
So, like, if we were to buy issue 23 separately on Comixology, so we would not have that issue. Like, we wouldn't have that page.
Yeah.
But we would have it probably in the beginning of issue 25.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay, then that makes sense. But I was looking at it going like, oh my god, what the hell is up with this?
So, well, I hope you learned your lesson. Don't read a title page.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, but since we're on the like those extra stories right now, we might as well go through them in a sense. Not that there are all that many, but I do like that whole one with what's called Auric finding his what was it now, his father's his
father's grave.
No, uncle. There we go.
Uncle?
Yeah, 16th century's uncle. I would have visited sooner if it was possible. So, but I like stuff like this where, I mean, it's a more extreme example of Captain America, like him going through the museum and stuff. So, I mean, 16th centuries, like you don't even have like what's called like any relative at all that you can know of.
Yeah.
Or you're hot like a flame.
Some way, your wife is now your relative.
Yes. Well, they're not wife yet, I'd assume.
Well, sex buddy.
So I have heard of new customs in the modern world. I don't know, just a nice. I like short things like this. I've read that. I've read things like these in DC and Marvel as well. Like Superman has really nice short things like this.
Well, like the one where he stops that girl from jumping off a building.
Yeah, but that's all still part of of one story.
Oh, that was part of one? I never read the whole story. I just read
that page.
Those like 2 or 3 pages or whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's nice, but it's overused. I feel, and it gets like, yes, we get it. Grant Morrison is amazing. So but like a lot of these little short things, just it's like material that I guess doesn't really fit for the serialized storytelling. But it's just a nice kind of use of him as a character, like this whole man out of time. I mean, here it is not really his powers that come into play; it's the time travel aspect. And it's kind of like, you know what, this is interesting. He can actually find his uncle's grave and have some sense of a connection. And then there's this one too, the owl one, though.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah, it's apparently some what's called kids comic thing. It's one of the few, I guess, they kind of publish in America. Not like big, but it is like aimed at kids and stuff. And yeah, I guess they got a hold of what's it say here? Andy Rowan. Yeah, they got a hold of Andy here to just
Andy
make this.
Runton?
Yeah. So he has to make like this. So this works. It's cute. And again, it works well for a little anniversary thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So and then we get Tom Fowler for a page.
Yep.
So actually looking at the first 2 panels, it looked kind of like a buffer Woody. I feel.
Yeah, sure.
I guess I mean it's the same. It's the artist for the first volume of Quantum of Woody.
Yeah.
And it kind of looking there like kind of. I love his art. It just. The perfect balance of this like cartoony expressiveness and just detailed like environment and like characters. And yeah, I mean that's we're kind of like going because again with issue 25, we kind of can go like section by section because it has a lot of different things. We kind of get a nice little cover after that, with old classic Manowar looking through seeing his reflection of his modern form. So, but of course, it's not as big of a drastic change to his costume as other characters have had.
Oh, I did not even notice.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like he's just been simplified a bit.
Well, I mean, I noticed that there was like that it was a different costume, like standing there, but I didn't realize that the reflection was different.
Yeah, no, it is.
Again, the details are just so small that you don't really pick it up on it if you don't look at it like specifically.
Well, exactly. I mean, if it had been like Superman, for example, you'd have like the modern one without Trunks standing there. Or no, it wouldn't be him standing. It would be like the old one with the black insignia.
Oh yeah.
And then it would have been like the modern one with the. Actually, is his color gone now? After Rebirth?
I can't remember. I don't know. They change it so often. I don't really follow it.
Yeah. Well, either way, but that would have been more like noticeable. As well as a bigger deal, I guess, since they've existed for more than 25 years. Oh, no, not 25. It's issue 25, yeah. But, it's like stuff like that is kind of cool, I feel. So, and then you kind of see like the simplification of it. I mean, honestly, I never liked all those extra gadgets on him.
Yeah.
So especially like I don't know, like I mean, it reminds me too much of Buzz Lightyear, that thing on his arm.
Okay, yeah.
I honestly, oh god, no, that would be a fun little mashup thing actually. Little Exo
Dude,
Manowar
you
Buzz
haven't finished your
Lightyear.
last mashup.
Yeah, I know. So, but it's still kind of seeing like a little Exo Manowar toy now. Just you press him and he says stuff. Probably less family
To
friendly
infinity
things.
and beyond.
Yeah. Then we get little.
Or you could do it even worse, like, my family and friends were murdered.
I was tortured on an alien ship for for years.
Yeah, for 16 centuries.
Everyone I ever knew and loved is dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, no, and then you get little. Honestly, I feel like this Exo Manowar database feels a little incomplete. Like even ignoring that they wouldn't have like Unity characters and stuff like that. You feel like Colonel Capshaw might have been involved or something.
Yeah, and this whole, like, commando class armor, I was also like, well, why do we need that?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I when I was looking at it there, I was thinking it was Trill. So, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's the suit.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just kind of felt. I don't know. Like I like the idea. It's a nice, simple way of, putting some material into the book. But it just feels kind of odd the choices for some of the stuff.
Yeah, I guess I would have said that they could have, put those new characters in there. I mean, they put Malcolm in there, but they didn't put any of the other ones in there. And I think that would have been, I mean, obviously they don't want to spoil anything, but I think I would have rather seen that so that I could have kind of gotten a more of a, I mean, even if they would have done the whole thing, like, they could do the whole name and armor type and all that kind of stuff. And then, like, attributes, they could just do question mark. Because then I could just at least kind of see who they were and kind of know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do I know?
Oh, you know more than you think.
Uh-huh.
And then just like a sort of like a big like 2-page spread thing. I want to discuss
Nice
this
with
afterwards.
the Eternal Warrior. Huh?
So yeah, I want to save this for later. The pitch thing here. So about what do you think of like the cover gallery?
The cover gallery.
Yeah, like all the covers of Exo Manowar from the very beginning to the reboot.
I honestly didn't really look at it. And now I'm looking at it. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's just something I don't think I would always, even if I was normally reading it, I wouldn't really be too interested in it. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's nice to see, but it's nothing that I'd be looking at like, oh, let's check out what the first cover was, and oh, let's check out all these. No, I don't really care that much.
All right.
I care less about the whole like all the stuff surrounding it. I care more about like the story. That's why I don't really mind, like digital comics or kind of like just reading comics, like borrowing comics or anything like that online or something like that, because I just want to read them once and then that's it. I'm less of like, I mean, I do have some comics that I collect, but it's more of a, I want to read the story. So when I'm buying a comic, I buy the story. I don't need to buy the issue, the actual like, how do you say? I don't need it hardcover or like how do you call it? Like physical copy. I don't need the physical copy to feel like I actually bought something. For me, it's just I'm buying the story that's being told, and in whatever medium it comes in. So these covers, yeah, they're nice, but it's nothing too interesting to me personally.
Oh.
I mean, I can understand how some nerdy people like you could get like really excited about this.
Well, again, I mean, I've only according to that collection I have. I only have it up to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like on the first page. So I only read up till then. And as well, then I bought also on Comixology the 2 issues afterwards because that's the Unity crossover.
Okay.
So, that's the only ones I've read and that I have any knowledge on. But I do kind of like looking on the second page because you can see then the 2 reboots there. So you can see where where the original Valiant series ends, and then their like Acclaim reboot starts. So like Operation Rebirth. So, but that didn't last too long. And then I just like seeing then the last issue of that, the final days of Exo Manowar.
Oh, is that the one where he's in the
Coffin?
Is it like a funeral thing?
Yeah, and he's in a coffin, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, hey, look, there's Quantum and Woody as well.
How far can you zoom in on this thing?
Well, no, I'm assuming like, I mean, it's not the best quality. I'm at 200%, but I just recognize Quantum's costume.
Yeah, you can really zoom in on this. I don't usually zoom in on these, so I just... Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, Quantum and Woody, yeah.
So, and then yes, my thoughts of I can't zoom. I'm not good enough to, and I don't think they actually say the years on American covers for some reason. Always annoyed me. They say like what's called the month for some reason. But yeah, it would have been in the 90s, I think, maybe early 2000s at most. So, but,
$2.50. You could buy a comic for $2.50.
Yep.
And the comic now is like $5 for one issue.
Yeah, they're kind of switching back and forth with it depending on the amount. I think they've kind of realized that they're kind of crossing a line now. No, but not like a line, but like they're kind of, okay, people actually are kind of hurting paying this much for a single issue.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to figure out like what ways they can justify higher costs.
Mm-hmm.
But then I like seeing then that we have Exo Manowar issue 1, from 2012.
Yep.
And I guess kind of like the whole, oh man, that was like a big, there's a big gap between there. It's not like DC and Marvel where they reboot and revamp all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this is like an actual, these properties have been dead, for years. So it's just kind of cool seeing that. Like,
how cool would have that like writers meeting have been? It's like the boss comes in and is like, okay, guys, I have good news and bad news. The good news is, or as I say, the bad news is we're going out of business. The good news is you get to kill all your characters.
Honestly, I kind of almost want to buy that last issue just to see what it's about.
How much would I bet it's like a cop-out of some sort? Like, how much would I bet this cover is one of those covers that you hate, where it has nothing to do with the story inside?
If it has nothing at all, considering it's like it's like specific enough. Because for me, it's more about when it's just like pinups, where it's like that's nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no, but this could be also one of those things where it's just like, this is the final issue, so we're going to make it look like he's dead. So people are going to buy it, and once they bought it, whatever. I don't know.
Well, Exo and Manowar is dead since the first thing anyways, because it's not the same character for the second iteration.
Oh, is that why in that variant cover, it looks like it's that one variant cover where all the characters... Wait, where is it? I can't even find it anymore.
Oh, you mean the one on page 94? Like you see the modern version in the front?
Oh, yeah, there we go, yeah. Is that why you see the Visigoth version?
Yeah, no, they don't have the Acclaim version there. That's actually an interesting thought. That's the thing, though. That's the problem with, Valiant, in a sense. It's too young to make, a proper thing like this.
Yeah.
If it was Superman or Batman, that's very easy to, make. You could, make it even longer, the whole, conga line.
Yeah. That's why artists like Valiant, because they don't have to draw that many when they do this.
Yeah. No, because I'm honestly thinking, I honestly don't know about the Visigoth version there, if it's just to show him off a bit, because I don't think he had a version like that from what I can see. But the thing is that with this Acclaim issues, that was the thing I told you about where that video game company bought them up.
Yeah, where they had Turok.
Yeah, exactly. And they changed it all. He's not a Visigoth anymore. He's an American. And this is the version that crossed over with Iron Man for that game.
Oh,
so it's not Arik fighting Iron Man or fighting with him. So the whole thing with it is just that I guess it's just Iron Man. Instead of having all the cool things that Exo Manowar brought to the table. I kind of want to buy them anyways to kind of have because again, I like, as you said with yourself that you just want to read the stories.
Yeah.
And the same thing for me in a sense, but I do like the meta stuff about it sometimes. What was going on during publishing at the times? How did that, force certain decisions? So like, having something like that with, the end of Exo Man or the final days of Exo Manowar. I'm personally, I'm just like, all okay, I'm curious to see, because this is the last issue, so it's not just a shock story. It's big. Honestly, we're closing up. So, that's, to me, is like what I'd be curious to see. Oh, hey, McDuffie wrote that. Dwayne McDuffie. He worked on Justice League, like the animated series and stuff, as a writer.
Oh, cool.
So, and he's the creator of Static Shock.
Ooh.
I'm kind of curious then. Well. But yeah, and then there's just some like covers and stuff after that. But you tell me you'd read through the original series pitch.
The thing at the end?
Yeah, like the pure text.
No, of course not.
You didn't read it?
No.
Oh, dude. I mean, I'm just thinking, since, that's something we both enjoy in a sense. Like, we like coming up with stuff.
Yeah, I know, but I just saw loads of text and I skipped it.
Oh, no, it's great, dude. It's Robert Venditti. This is like apparently unaltered like text document of what he showed 2 years before, like in 2010. 2 years before the first issue like published.
Well, I mean, come on, you got to tell me this stuff, because this was at the end of the issue. I just thought this was some sort of filler text of like.
I thought you noticed yourself, but yeah, true.
No, because I just see text and it keeps scrolling, because there's always like stuff at the back, like, reader emails or whatever, that kind of stuff that I just skip anyway. I mean, I usually just, when I get to the end, I just scroll once really quickly through just to see, okay, this is just all art and backplate stuff, so I don't need to read this stuff. So if there's something like this, you got to tell me, because I mean, this sounds really interesting. And now that you've mentioned, I am going to read it afterwards.
All right, maybe we can have like a little in our next podcast. Maybe we could have like a little intro, just quickly going through that.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was an interesting read, but then we'll save that for next time. So, and I'll keep that in mind. And if there is something, what's called behind the scenes or whatever, like at the end of the issues or volumes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can start also just looking through them and ask you while I read them.
Yeah. No, but I get what you mean. It's kind of like all those commercials we get as well sometimes.
Yeah.
You start reading them and like, oh no, wait, right. This is Harbinger way after where we are.
Exactly. So yeah.
But yeah, we kind of went through a lot there. So I feel there's a lot of nice moments here that I would like to go through. Like, honestly, I love the mooning. That's why I had it in the intro.
I thought you would.
It's just so delightfully immature yet rebellious. Like, he knows that he's their, like, lapdog, but he has to do something. And I just like the fact that the suit, like, allows for it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing as pulling down.
I think you're going a little bit too far into this whole, like, him mooning thing.
If you look at the framing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I don't know.
That the suit is like opening up in the back to show his pants so that he can pull it down. Yeah.
I don't know. I just really like that. And it's also something, it's one of those things I've always kind of said about, like, what I love about, like, Scandinavian, like, animated films.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the same, like, moral guardians and, like, that kind of stuff that America has. They can have, like, dirtier jokes and stuff. Because looking here, I can't see really like a mainstream DC or Marvel hero do this. Like Deadpool, maybe.
Could you think Batman doing this?
No, that's what I mean. Batman wouldn't do that, without it being a
Of course he wouldn't do that, because also his character isn't like that.
Exactly. But even...
but there's loads of other characters that I think would do that, and I'm pretty sure they would have done something similar.
Like who? I mean, obviously, yes. I'm not saying not a single one. Like Deadpool is an obvious one that you would definitely do it. But any of the non-comedic ones? I guess Spider-Man might have.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Something similar. Maybe like he would have like bent over and slapped his ass or something like that.
So yeah, it's not impossible, but still, I don't know, because this is like their big guy, like for their universe. Yeah. To me, this is even though they're not the same character as Superman, I feel like it's sort of power level and importance is shared. So for me, that was just a very nice moment. And, we're not going to say, it's also a little more fair. American comic books get a lot of criticism for their what's called tits and ass of women. So, it's nice seeing a male ass sometimes. So, but yeah, and then we also like the internationalness. Like I mean, even though it's all they're in America now, in Nebraska, his people,
Yeah.
and obviously he's part of the American military. But I like the fact that, oh look, we got some Chinese taikonauts up there now, picking up scraps from the war or like from the nation. I like that it's not. I like that the other countries are doing things. It's not just America fiddling with it.
Yeah, but this again is showing like China as the bad guy.
I don't know about that.
Well, no, because they're getting the alien technology, and it's supposed to make China look like a threat. You know what I mean?
I mean, it could be seen as such, but I don't think it's like implicit in the depiction.
Yeah, but
here.
also seeing that they actually die, I think it kind of, I don't know. I mean, I think it was kind of like, well, we can't have Americans die, so let's make it the Chinese. Oh, and let's make them kind of like stealing the technology for their government. I mean, they even said like, what do they say? Like their wonderful leader or something like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's just them being patriotic, I think.
Yeah, but that's North Korea. That's not China. China doesn't say that.
I don't know about that. So I mean, they get good benefits from being pro party.
Yeah, pro party, but they don't say stuff like paramount leader. That's North Korea say. Oh, it says that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I felt like they were trying to make. They were trying to make China look very bad in this kind of, and then to have them all die, and then basically the Americans just going like, whatever.
Well, they're just worried about like what could happen to them.
Well, of course, because America's the most important.
Yeah. Well, it's like in the Eternal Warrior Volume 2. They're not us.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know. I just like the idea that they're there. Like I feel oftentimes it's kind of like as I mentioned to you that I watched Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen a few days ago.
Yeah.
So yes, while I was working on something, and I remember reading a criticism about that film, one of many. But it was the whole idea of America is the world, because within that film they're kind of like staying with the like American government in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the government's kind of like, you know what, I think it's because you guys are here that we're having all this trouble, so you guys should get out. And I remember someone pointing out that so they couldn't go to another country that might accept them. If America says get out of the planet, then okay, sure. So I like the fact that, oh yeah, of course China, they have resources and interest in getting this technology.
Well, I gotta say that is a whole, that is an actual thing that is real.
Which part?
Well, that we sent the Transformers off the planet. That's the real part.
Yeah, no, but
a lot of Americans feel that America is the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I also thought that all the big things were in America. I mean, like, America was the biggest country, of course, and stuff like, I don't know, everything was in America. America was like the focus of the world. I mean, even now, I mean, today, the oldest person alive died today. And someone commented on the post on Reddit something like, she was born before the civil rights movement and lived to see the first American black president.
Using American like events as.
Well, not only that, but she's Italian.
So she never. I mean, obviously she would have heard about these things in the news, but she wouldn't have witnessed it herself.
Yeah, it's not what she kind of had, what she kind of like, measured her life by.
Yeah, not personally, no. It's what an American is using as a like.
Yeah, it's like Americans saying like, no, our history is the important one, and this is the history that everyone knows about and stuff like that. So, other people would say something like, wow, she lived through 2 world wars, like that kind of stuff. But
we should refer to World War more. That's more inclusive.
Yeah.
World War II doesn't discriminate.
World War III that we're going to start soon.
Yeah, World Wars don't discriminate. It's the World War, not the American War.
Exactly.
If we're going to have any wars at all, we're going to have everyone included. Oh boy. I really hope that doesn't sound awful in a few days. Yes, yeah, it's just all the scary things on the news. Anyways, all right then. Well, again, I just personally liked the depiction of like other like nations within there. It's similar like with the whole Romanian thing, with EXO.
Yeah.
Like the fact that
Yeah.
Russia then is like getting really freaked out and doing things. Like oftentimes I feel with a lot of these, like take like Independence Day. I mean, sure, we kind of see some stuff of other countries reacting, but it's up to the Americans to fix it.
Well, yeah.
No, but in the sense,
Yeah, but you also have to see Valiant is an American company.
oh yeah, no, I don't mind
And they're-
that. It just
And they're selling to Americans mostly, so they kind of want to push this whole patriotic thing that's very, abundant in America.
yeah, but I feel that the way it's portrayed here, maybe it's because I'm cynical enough, I guess, that I kind of criticize some of these things myself while I'm reading.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, like the kind of ways you were mentioning about the taikonauts dying and stuff, and their depiction in that sense. But for me, it's more of the sense I never really saw it as it's like sort of like a not a propaganda piece, but just like a patriotic kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, oh yeah, well, it's just the way it's just the way it's happening here. I'm just happy that they actually show some other people. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of a neat.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Romania thing was really interesting that they just it kind of really did feel like they just threw a dart at, at a map of Europe and just decided, okay, well, he'll land somewhere.
Well, I mean, it's where his people would have been.
Really? I thought they would have been somewhere in Italy.
No, that's not like that's like where they were fighting the Romans.
Oh, okay.
I mean, again, there are no Visigoths anymore at all. So
Yeah, I know, but I thought the Visigoth was like around northern eastern Italy.
and that's where they were fighting the Romans. So
Okay.
I actually, honestly, considering who we're reading about, honestly, it would be a good thing to maybe touch up on Visigoths.
Kind of read up on the Visigoths.
The only other Visigoths I've seen are in Asterix,
Okay.
and they were portrayed as proto-Nazis.
Okay, then.
Well, not Nazis like that, but they had like all like World War II helmets. So, but with the spikes on, like combination of, I don't know, it was weird. It's a long time ago I read it, and in Swedish, so
Yeah. Yeah.
gonna get a hold of it though. What's called? I love the faucet scene.
I love it and hate it.
Is it? Do you hate it for the same reason I do? You're kind of like, oh god, turn it off. You're wasting water.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Glad we have something we agree on. No, but I always like that kind of stuff. Like, I love any kind of story where, people from the past come to the future
Yeah.
and they marvel at all these things we take so much for granted. 'Cause you forget that. Like, you forget that indoor plumbing, like a faucet. Like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, well, sometimes I do. I mean, I do actually think that. I mean, I just caught myself thinking that a couple of days ago, because there's always that talk about like water shortage and stuff like that, and so I mean, I've like done stuff like I put a brick inside my toilet, like into the toilet, the back part of the toilet.
So that doesn't take up as much water
Yeah, so it doesn't take as much water, and I always kind of
for when you're
do it so
shitting
that I can-
bricks.
Yeah, that's where the expression comes from. But yeah, so stuff like that. So I do sometimes like look at like when I'm filling up my Brita filter and stuff like that. I kind of look at it and go like, yeah, it's a lot of water we're using and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it is interesting. I mean, this is something that I wish they would have had more time to do with Captain America in the movies. Because they didn't really do it that much. I mean, there was that one deleted scene from, I think,
Avengers,
Soldier. Oh, yeah, it was Avengers, yeah. Where he was kind of doing some stuff, but I would have wanted a little bit more of him just like walking around New York City and just seeing how everything's changed. I would have loved to see him like on Times Square, like without being chased by a shield. Just kind of taking it all in. I think that would have been a really nice emotional moment, but you don't really have time for that.
No, I agree, and I would have loved that too. I mean, not like going overboard with it. I mean, as much as I like that joke, the whole I understand that reference. As much as I like that one, like if that was all there was, like him like not getting anything, and we wouldn't want something weird either, like this is a tablet. Oh my, how did you manage to, it's like, we don't like, it doesn't have to be like this savage seeing things, though that would work better for Marek.
Oh yeah,
but that's what I mean. Also, I mean, look at that.
Like seeing a TV. How did you get those small people inside there?
Oh yeah. No, but if you look at like a third panel, no, fourth panel. Sorry, didn't think of the close up there. But the fourth panel on that page, 48.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy who has been kidnapped by aliens, has the universe's most powerful weapon, has met an immortal man, and like all this stuff, and that's this big expression there. Like, how did this happen? Like, this amazes him.
Well, yeah, I mean, he has all this technology, but he's never really seen water come out of a faucet, has he?
Yeah, no, exactly.
I mean, when he was farming everything, he was still doing it all in the traditional way. So, yeah, I guess that is amazing. The fact that you turn something, I mean, it's the same thing with light. I mean, how do you think some people he probably reacted to that as well, otherwise, the idea that you push a button and light turns on.
Yeah, but honestly, I just looked inside her tent there. They seem to be like oil lamps or something.
Yeah, it seems so, yeah.
Maybe it'd be too weird to have. I guess they have to have like wires and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They probably don't have electricity yet, and maybe the pipes are now the first thing to get them to have like clean water and stuff like that, and then next will come the electricity or something.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably what would happen then.
Yeah,
but yeah, I just like that stuff. It's I feel these are very important things within a superhero comic sometimes. I mean, as much as I love spectacle and stuff,
bring them back to Earth or something like that. Yeah.
Well, it's just these like the non-superhero stuff. I mean, as much as I say, I guess I want more superhero things, but you need to like not downplay, but you need to what's the word? Well, you need to pace it. I mean, it's like with a nice like shonen manga, for example. As much as I love shonen, like battle mangas, if it's always a big fight, well, then it's not exciting. I mean, that's what kills One Piece for me.
Right. Well, that's like what I said, is that I love the in between stories, these not cover stories, what they call it, the filler episodes of Dragon Ball. It's just fun to kind of take a moment and just relax with these characters that you love.
Yeah, no, exactly. And in this case too, I feel it works very well.
It also kind of humanizes them more.
Well, yeah, they're not just the suits. They're not just the superhero costume. I mean, it's stuff I always see on like Tumblr so much, because ever since like both Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, everyone's like really critical of anything like with those two. So they're always like showing like pages and panels from the comics that shows them very human. Which it's fine. I like those panels too. But I do like that kind of stuff, yeah, because they are more than just, Batman and Superman. They have their, Clark and Bruce moments.
Yeah.
So, but my problem is sometimes that, I mean, it depends on the, like, which run it is with the writer and what they're trying to do, but I want spectacle. Like, these are superhero comics. I want to see them, again, not all the time fighting giant aliens, because that gets boring. But I want to see costumes, powers. Like, to me, those are like the two things. Because if there's no costumes, then I don't know. Then it's like not as interesting, I feel, even if they had powers. So, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of rambling there, but I guess have a very specific taste when it comes to superheroes. And I feel like this like volume nails it perfectly for me. Like perfect balance of everything.
Okay. That's great.
I think that's about on my end here. As per usual, I've hit the questions in out of order, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And we got some other stuff from it, thanks to you. Yeah, I don't know. Any other mentions? Like, I mean, you said you were now a little more excited for the actual Armor Hunters arc.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that giant mecha thing.
Jin
looks like fun. Yeah, it looks like fun.
Again, it's actually, if we just end on like those characters in a sense. I mean,
yeah, sure.
Since we do get to see quite a bit of them, like not again, there's plenty of more things to find out, but Any thoughts on their designs and like the little personality we've already found? Like I think they're like a nice varied group.
Yeah, I mean, they're very different. I mean, the names that I gave to them was just like Iron Giant, Crystal Thing, 3D Glasses, Devil Penis, and Pterodactyl.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the devil penis.
No, Devil Penis is the guy with the devil horns on his belt buckle. So
So
that's
yeah, no,
what I'm
but
going to call them for the rest of the Armor Hunters arc.
all right. Yeah, no, that's fine. So it's, but that's what I like, though. You know, they're very distinct designs. So even if you can't remember their names,
Yeah,
they're impossible to mix up.
Yeah, I mean, just like what is with that pterodactyl thing though?
I'm very happy they have him there. Like,
Why? What? Like, he doesn't say a thing.
doesn't he?
Oh wait, no, he does. Yeah, he does. Right at the end with the when he's talking about like that they got the technology, like or the those aliens come and they speak to them. Like he is offering or she's offering to change their translation system thing.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Oh, Lilt is his name.
Oh yeah, Lilt. Yeah, there it says. Yeah, so we slowly get their name, all their names. So, but you know, I just like the fact because I mean, I like aliens, and I know it's very hard to come up with, you know, quote unquote
Anything
believable.
besides green and big head.
Yeah, and believable, you know, quote unquote, because you know who knows what laws of like biology other planets might have. So, but I just like the fact that I mean, even the main guy here, like Primary, like even though he has like a human face, he still has a very interesting look. I feel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, but then we also get again, you know, we get a rock monster kind of guy. You know, that's not new. I mean, he actually kind of looks like the Thing's uglier brother or something.
Yeah, like I said, the crystal thing.
Yes. As you said, with 3D glasses as well, you know, it's like, okay, some being of energy, I guess. But with that lizard guy, then Lilt, I really like that because most of the times it is this sort of biped kind of thing. I've heard some stuff where the whole biped, like, form, that there's a reason, like that alone apparently will help a creature evolve. Yeah, I mean, it's not just the brain thing, it's like, but in order for you to take advantage of whatever, like, you know, advanced brain that us humans have, for example, you need a body that can, like, take advantage of it. So if you were to have, like, let's say a quadruped race, you know, that doesn't have, like, arms, even if they had our brains, you know, it would be hard for them to succeed with things that we have. So that's why a lot of aliens, I think, besides, you know, laziness or lack of imagination, are bipeds.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I like that, like, you know, pterodactyl kind of thing, because, okay, nice, that's very alien.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just something I feel like you have, like, no rules when it comes to aliens. So it's just kind of nice to see them when they're actually taking advantage of that sometimes. So, but yeah, I guess that's about it.
Alrighty then.
So, any closing comments? Oh wait, yeah. Well, you know, it wasn't really much to discuss art-wise, and we kind of discussed it a bit with the special issue. But yeah, no, art-wise,
solid, very solid.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. It's Diego Bernard, so another Latino.
Yeah. Like I was saying, I think it's a thing now that these get outsourced to Spain and stuff like that.
So yeah, considering how many, and I mean this in the most non-rude way as possible, considering how many Mexicans and Latinos there are in America, I'm guessing there's plenty in-house, so to speak.
Especially because you just said America, the entire country is in America.
Oh, you're right.
So yeah.
No, see, that's
the United States.
No, see, that's what. That's the scary thing. What's called when Trump says "get out of America," he means the whole continent.
Yeah,
we're gonna build a new Knott's farm down in Brazil.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know, whatever. But one thing I wanted to say in particular, because one thing, especially for these kinds of like superheroes, anything like that's like has like a spectacle thing. Like an impossible thing.
Yeah.
I really like the depiction of like the living armor. I mean, like the whole tentacleness. So I don't know. I just feel it's. I could see this, like I see it almost animated as it's happening.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not just like, doesn't feel like it's exploding out of Auric, for example. Like it really feels like it's slowly coming out, like entangling. I guess the way it's drawn and pasted in the panels, like I don't know, it's really, I'm seeing it animated in my head. And another thing too, before that, let's see, right, yeah, he slices off his arm.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, we've seen things like this before, like regenerating limbs and stuff. But in this case, I like it a lot because it shows off a bit more about his condition. Because he slices off an arm that's like flesh. But then as it then like rebuilds itself, it becomes, armor. And then remains
but then recedes back into being
No, it remains armor all the time.
Oh wait, sorry, I scrolled into the wrong direction.
It's not a manga. Yeah, no, man, I'm just checking myself, and yeah, it's consistent.
So if you cut off every single part of his body, he'll become full armor?
I'm assuming so. And again, this is what I meant with like getting excited, because this, there's new material here, there's new rules being given. Because it also kind of reminds me then with Auric, he got his hand cut off on the ship.
Yeah.
So, and then it grew back when he got
but that was the whole thing, wasn't it? Like, that was in a different volume.
It was the previous volume. Then when he cut his hand...
Yeah.
To show that he still had it in him, in a sense.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So that's what I mean. Like, we're getting more,
into the deepest lore.
Well, yeah. Well, in this case, it's not even lore. It's physics.
Well, not physics. I mean...
No, but...
Science physics.
Yeah, exactly.
Science-fi physics.
Well, it's the whole, let's assume, Yeah, it's the whole, like, it's not about, like, whether these things, this can't happen. Like, let's assume. Yeah.
Let's assume Superman can fly.
Exactly.
If he catches Lois Lane going at, terminal velocity.
But exactly, it's that kind of stuff. And that's why I'm kind of, like, find it neat to look at, because it's like, okay. So something's gone wrong with him. Like, his armor, unlike RX, it's, like, taking him over entirely. What's different here? Does it react differently to different species? Since Vine, like die from getting it on? Like no Vine has ever been able to wear an Exo Manowar.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, it's like there's mystery, like there's intrigue, and I'm like, I really want to know. And honestly, now that I mentioned Vine, I can't remember if they ever explain why Vine can't.
Or maybe it's just a thing, like, every race has like some sort of connection to the thing. I mean, we'll see, or I'll see when we continue.
Yeah, no, I just can't in my own head like remember if they ever stated. I just remember in volume 3 of Exo Manowar when the priest is talking to those other leaders.
Yeah.
So a lot of them mentioning that all this time we're spouting from this like holy text of yours, and you haven't thought of a simple solution to it all. Vine can't wear it. Yeah. Rather than that they're they have to find a worthy one. So
yeah, well, again, do they explain why humans can wear it? Do they explain why this other guy can't wear it or only halfway wear it?
We're gonna see later on, Chris, because
because that's my question. Is like, are the Vine even part of it at that point? Because I mean, if you're, I'm just thinking like realistically, if you have these two people coming up to this one expert and they ask, why can I wear it, or why does it look like this on me? Why does it look like this on this guy? He's not going to go like, well, it looks like this on you because of this, and it looks like this on you because of this. Oh, and by the way, it looks like this on the vine. It doesn't work on the vines at all because of this. You know what I mean? So it might have just been a moot point. Like they don't even need to talk about it because the vine have nothing to do with it anymore.
Yeah, but still, I don't understand. I'm trying to be careful with my word choice here because I do know some stuff that happens later, and I want that to be a surprise.
Okay.
Because I loved it. But I'll leave it at that. I've said too much.
All right, we'll see when we get there.
Perhaps I've said too much. All right, but yeah, that's wasn't I always like ending on the art. So as I said, I want to do that more often. Well, that was the 31st episode of Hardcast, detailing Exo Manowar Volume 6. For more content from me and Chris, follow us on Twitter at Humphrey_Erm and at Christian D. Claus. You can subscribe to us on iTunes or listen to us directly on valianthardcast.podbean.com. Remember to like us on facebook.com /valianthardcast.